Mahan, thank you very much for...
Thank you, Scott, for having me.
No problem.
Yeah, it's festive down here.
I know. So we still got some Christmas lights and decorations up here. Your latest release was released last year in 2008.
Yes, back in February. Early March.
Early March?
Yeah.
And I noticed there was a long gap in between CD releases.
Yeah.
What was the reason for the...
I didn't think about recording for about 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
There was that.
Yeah.
And then when I got around to it, just time and money. Not really a great answer, but you know,
no,
I wanted to sound right, so I got to hire like really good players. But sometimes just have to save up for that. Get guys from the symphony orchestra in, and the boys choir and the professional gong player. It takes a while to save up for those guys. So, so that pretty much, and just time. Worked with Brian Lovely, and when he was ready to work, I was too busy with like starting a family. And then when I was ready, he was starting. He went back to school, so sometimes it was like hard to meet up. But yeah, time and money. So
yeah,
nothing really exciting. But
who are some of the people you had on your release?
The majority of the rhythm sections of my brother Brian Mahan, who plays with the Kentucky Struts.
Oh yeah.
Wears the hat. Usually wears the hat.
Wears the hat.
Walks backwards, which good bass players do. I don't know why good bass players walk backwards. He and then Brian Lovely played the majority of the bass on the record, and Teddy Wilburn did the majority of the drums, who used to be in The Secret with Brian way back in the day, and then Chris Novy, who I did a lot of live shows with. He also played drums on like 3 tracks. The bulk of the rhythm section, and Paul Patterson, he's with the Faux Frenchman.
Oh yeah.
One of Brian's bands. He did a lot of string work on that, so he's all over the disc. A lot of CCM students that Brian brought in that he was like going to school with, and flugelhorn, all these weird instruments that I would never be able to find, on the folk music scene. So yeah.
Well, cool. Are you doing any more writing right now, or?
I've been writing a lot this last year, and definitely want to record it, get it down. And I don't know, I might just do something really stripped down and just maybe even purely acoustic, maybe.
Oh yeah.
Because people have told me I should, so I don't know. I could do that on the quick, I could do that in an afternoon in the right studio, and who knows, I might do something like that. Yeah.
Cool. Would you like to play a song?
Yeah, I'll play the title track from the new disc. It's kind of epic, so get ready to enjoy 6 minutes of hoodling. This is 35-cent Daydream.
Cool.
Daydream gets you off the street. The people you meet out in the rain do the same if they could. And I should get a ticket for that better place. Watch your face light up as the parade goes by. Sidewalk display, the wide entranceway is always welcoming. Painted bright before the sound could say bring 'em in. The acrobats and those dancers are long in the past. The spell is cast and you want it to last. It will if you want. as the credits and a tear rolled. Beautiful but forgotten, Clara, where has she gone? Of the quiet girls in the audience, well, you're the only one can compare to our sweetheart who left the screen silently as she came in at the first bit. Daydream, well, there's always a line. One for soup, bread, and water, one to a trench with a carbine. There's a sign that's captured on the newsreel, and it's hard to feel any closer to what we waited for.
Very nice.
Thank you, sir.
Excellent. Now, do you remember the first time you ever, like, I guess, performed out live?
Let's see.
Remember when that was?
I've always pretty much played, so there was always
Oh, okay.
someone I could like even as a little kid, I would say, hey, there's a little
What
song
about
hot
your-
dogs I wrote.
What about your first paying gig?
First paying gig was probably $10. It was at a coffee house that was over on Ludlow. And it doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, a little $10 and little $10 gig. Probably the one first time I ever had opportunity to sing. I had a babysitter who sang in a rock band, and we went through babysitters left and right because my brother and I were just terrors. And Melissa. Her brother was Mark Ingalls. I don't know if you've heard of Ingalls.
I think so.
He played with. I'm gonna lose her name. Anyways, I think he's out of town now. But Melissa, yeah, she would take us around the corner, and we would like sit and like watch band rehearsals. And I distinctly remember them lowering the mic stand when I was like 8 years old or 9, so I could sing "Still Crazy" after all these years, which is great. I mean, a 9-year-old singing "Still Crazy" after all these years.
Yeah, what a
Perfect.
babysitter.
They didn't put me in the band or anything, but it was pretty cool nonetheless. So yeah, that was probably an early performance. Try out.
When did you start playing guitar?
My dad plays, so we always had instruments in the house. Pretty early on, I think. I mean, I had little jug bands in my neighborhood. We literally had jugs and washboards. We had banjos and guitars, and had some guitar chords going. It's probably like 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Probably. Never really practiced much, but I'm tuning now.
No, that's not a
Practice my
problem.
tuning. So yeah, so pretty much always, as far as I can remember, I always had like little, had a little original jug band in the neighborhood, some kids in the neighborhood, very musical street I grew up on. A lot of the other parents in the neighborhood, for some reason, it's just uncanny coincidence, I guess. But a lot of instruments on the street, and a lot of us played guitar together as kids. And, we played other things too, but we actually had little jug bands going, and little acoustic and had original songs written. We were 8 years old, 9 years old, that sort of
awesome.
thing. So yeah.
Do you have any like early recordings or anything like
There's
that?
probably there's probably cassettes of that. Those all that stuff actually still exists. And yeah, at my parents' house, like in bags, there's just like old cassette tapes of like my first garage band, when I was like maybe 12 or 13, we're kind of grungy before its time, just like a lot of distortion because the amp had caught on fire, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
That sort of things. But actually, yeah, I don't sift through the stuff. I have a lot of it, and someone will have fun. Hopefully, someone will have fun looking through that stuff someday. But yeah, there's stuff laying around everywhere. But I'm pretty bad at archiving, so I don't do too much of that.
I understand. So, play another song?
Yeah, I'll do one more from the record.
Cool.
This is called "In the Outskirts of God's Country." Here we go. In the outskirts of God's country, and I found on the map on the way through the county heading home, a distant thunderclap been quaking my pace on the ridge to outrun the storm. But the winds got me, and the clouds started to take the form of terrible armies and the trees. I pointed away that I should flee to my shelter. God's country, under some craggy rocks, the rain was a steady sound of so many ticking clocks, fall in a simple sleep, dreamless and deep. And when I awoke, the moon had started to weep. Soldiers everywhere on the move, and to show it disapproved it turned blood red. The outskirts of God's country, tomorrow and the next came crossing over horizons. I saw cities in flames, riding and shaking my head, turning away on this path I tread on each and every single day, just trying to find my way home. Through this mountainside I roam in my own way. In the outskirts of God's country, in the outskirts of God's country.
Cool, very nice. I like it.
Yeah, thank you. What tune again? You can ask me a question.
Do you remember what kind of music was kind of playing in your house when you were growing up? I mean, I know you kind of have kind of a folky sound right now.
A lot of the almost obvious kind of iconic '60s musicians like Dylan and the Stones and the Beatles, especially Dylan and the Beatles for sure. Pretty much from there, that was a great, like, almost like foundation to kind of leap in both directions. Like, other people who like the Beatles and Dylan and stuff that they listen to also, to work their way backwards into older blues and
oh, absolutely,
and that sort of thing. So But yeah, a lot of my parents' record collection, a lot of just really good, solid '60s music for sure.
That's
so
awesome.
That was a good starting place. I feel like that was pretty lucky on that end.
Yeah.
The White Album when I was 3. You know?
Yeah, my dad thought it was pretty cool when I started listening to Janis Joplin, so
Yeah.
he was pretty impressed.
Early age also.
Yeah. I think we're similar in age, so
Yeah.
our
I
parents.
think my pediatrician was too thrilled with that actually, because you come in there, what do you want to do? I'm gonna be a rock and roll singer, 7 or whatever.
Oh, that's funny. What about your first concert that you went to?
First concert, some tuning for you folks. Actually, my dad took me and a friend to see REM at the Taft Theater when I was about 14 or so, 15. They were getting bigger, but they weren't like a huge concert yet. I mean, it was Taft Theater, so it was a pretty decent sized show. But I was the first kid on my block to get into them back in the early '80s or whatever. So, and so my dad took. I remember getting in our seat, and there was a usher there about my dad's age. It was kind of looked at my dad. Everybody there was fairly young, a lot of teeny boppers.
Yeah.
And the usher looked at my dad and oh, you're here too, huh? And my dad's like, yeah, these guys are great, man. They sound a lot like the Byrds. So, so I do remember that. So that's my first concert. That's a pretty decent first concert. For
yeah,
sure.
I would say so.
Yeah. And they were still at a period where it was they were pretty alternative in some ways. There was kids up front that were just kind of just beating into each other as they were dancing, and then there was some people just standing and kind of dancing like it was a pop concert. And then there was people sitting in the back like it was like a folk concert. So they really at that time they were covering a lot of bases when it came to who was listening to them. So
yeah, absolutely.
And trying to figure out what to play in tune.
Cool.
It's very important.
That's very cool.
So I was fortunate to see a lot of concerts back in the formative years, certainly through high school, early college, and then actually by and by I go to less and less big concerts because really either I'm doing my own show or you can go hear a top-notch show here in town for $5.
Yeah,
and get a good seat and talk with the band afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are pretty accessible around town, so that's there's a lot of good players too, so it works out nice.
I see less big acts now, I guess, as the years go on. I was talking about Riverbend the other day with a friend, and I don't think I've been to Riverbend in 12, 13 years, which is pretty amazing. But
yeah, I still have to make it down to that new venue they got down there.
Yeah.
The Pavilion.
It's kind of out of my price range, actually, to be honest. The first REM show I saw was, it was $12. Might have been $11. Wow. So, I can get that with my allowance, Even the first time we saw the Stones, that was early 90s, it was affordable. It was a $30 ticket, And we were on the floor, we were 19th row with steel wheels, stuff overhead. Awesome. $30 or something like that. It was doable, but...
It's kind of hard nowadays. I can't really do it either.
Mortgage. Go see them now.
Yeah, so when you get in the adult world, when you get a mortgage, you realize that's it.
Right, yeah, true, yeah.
I'm in the same boat, so it's play another song
yeah.
or two?
I'll do 2 newer ones. Yeah. This would be on the next album, either the folk, full-blown production that will come out in 2016, or I might actually do a nice little acoustic record that might come out, before then.
Every 8 years.
Yeah, every 8 years. So I'll do. They're relatively new. They're newer than those, but these are songs I've been playing out probably in the last year and a half.
Okay.
People seem to like them. So, and the first one. It's called Colorful Character, and it features that little angel on one shoulder and that little devil on the other shoulder. Here we go. So
cool. Awesome.
Colorful character, winged angel on one shoulder, pitchfork gravel all uptight, wants some fun, wants to fight, wants to drop the anvil, the bell, the piano down on me. You can hit the room with TNT. I've strewed along with guided tools. Somewhere out there to chase, you might catch it in the face, breaking the noggin more than you bargain for mental hold me. Yes, indeed. Tried to swallow me whole, cut me into little bits. I took all that on and more, won't be too scared by what's in store. And I think the story drops to guillotines meant to lie pretty heads like mine. Your enemy is drawing the side, can't you feel the turn of the tide? He's finished chewing on his bone, looks to get you all alone. Better play dead, that's what I said, better play dead than to be. Yes, indeed. They're likable bad guys, undercards and the undercard. No matter if you think I am, neither one is understand. In the end, all your friends will have to send for the ambulance. Here it comes, colorful character, shrug the angel off my shoulder. This pitchfork rival wants to fight, wants to scream, kick and bite, wants to drop the anvil, the bell, the piano, the A-bomb down on you.
Yeah, that's that one. The Lions actually, there are underdogs in the undercard, but I don't know. Sometimes they go by so fast, you know. Just if I think about it, I start switching words around.
Oh shit, that's funny.
You know, so end with one that people seem to enjoy, despite it being sort of somber and quiet, and I don't know, seems to get a good reaction when I play it out. So.
Well, I think every artist has a few of those types of songs.
And I like it too. I like playing it, but sometimes you don't really know what people are going to respond to until they actually get it out there a few times. It sounds like it's pretty close to being in soon.
Cool.
This one, it's a title I had for years, but I couldn't quite find the right music for it, but it's called Does Anybody Here Speak My Language?
Does anybody here speak my language? Can anybody here translate for me? Getting by on inflection, near facial expression, getting by on simple eye contact and a nod. Can anybody here translate for me? Does anybody here speak my language? For the girl at the counter, she sells warm breads and chocolates, pours cold drinks, and I'm thirsty and I haven't eaten. Does anybody here know the way to go? I thought I knew, now I don't know. And I'm lost in my direction. I'm walking the city alone. May you make the correction and send me on. Send me on my way back home. Send me on my way back home. Send me on my way back home if you know the way to go. Does anybody here speak my language? Can anybody here translate for me?
That's a very nice song.
Thank you, sir.
You're very welcome. So where can we find out about upcoming tour dates and all that good stuff?
Yeah, either go to gregmahan.com.
Cool.
GREGMAHAN. I'm on MySpace, like everybody else in the world. sad to say, but although I don't know, I guess it's a
necessary evil, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
Pretty much there. Yeah, you'll find
Cool.
find dates on there. So I'm out in the Cincinnati area once or twice a month, and sometimes 2 or 3 times a month, and then occasionally out in the region a little bit more, but
Cool.
I do that more in 09.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you very much
Thanks,
for coming
Scott.
by.
Yeah, thank you.
No problem.